Throughout its first season, 1923 has been building to a tense conclusion in Episode 8. The Yellowstone prequel 1923 has been fascinating to watch as it follows the Dutton family as they navigate one of the most trying decades in recent history. The cruel range war that has been simmering since the first episode of 1923 exploded into a full-fledged conflict in Episode 8. Here is everything you need to know about the 1923 Season 1 ending. Major spoilers ahead if you have not watched the final episode yet. In the 8th episode, titled Nothing Left to Lose, a new couple was introduced and another was cruelly split apart, while a tragedy befell an expectant mother. Donald Whitfield and Jacob Dutton eventually came face to face as the oil tycoon moved onto their property. Tina and her group fled to Wyoming in search of protection, but Father Renaud and the police are pursuing them closely. The police officer who unintentionally killed Tiana's grandma is investigating the crime scene at the boarding school as the episode begins. The sheriff and the audience are informed by Father Renaud that Tiana's companion Bapauxte also passed. She was being Pameling when we last saw her, just as Tiana had been when she stood up for herself. The sheriff asks Renaud to help in the search for Tiana, because they are aware that the other 3 priests, who we know were murdered, haven't shown up. Fortunately, Tiana's father, Runs His Horse, is the next individual to locate her. For the next person who discovers them, he has labeled the priests as child killers using their own blood. Runs His Horse, Pete Plenty Clouds, and Tiana ride off to safety together. Runs His Horse cautions his daughter and Pete not to fall in love right away as they retire for the evening. Tiana assertively takes his hand and informs him she doesn't think waiting is a virtue. Tiana kisses Pete on the face before they fall asleep in front of the fire. Tiana begins to cry as she lets out her feelings from the previous few weeks. The bodies of the priests Renaud sent to locate Tina have been found, as we learn much later in the episode. They make plans to get the train to pass them after determining that Tina and her companions are traveling to the Comanche Territory in Wyoming. Jacob Dutton and his soldiers are riding into town in the snowier regions of Montana. They are upset to see that the hitch and rails have been changed to vehicle parking spaces outside the court. They are there to witness Banner Creighton being executed, but is eventually freed without bail thanks to the skillful advocacy of Donald Whitfield's attorney. Banner accuses Jacob of being a coward for attempting to resolve their disagreement in court as he leaves. They appear to be in agreement that this will conclude in an area adjacent to Yellowstone Ranch. Donald and Banner are preparing their next relocation back in the opulent home. Banner wishes the Duttons dead, but Donald advises him to strive for reputational immortality. Donald wants to use a pen, not a gun, to murder Jacob. The 2 prostitutes from the last episode are still present, each with fresh wounds. Donald tells the 2 ladies that he enjoys the dynamics of power as he watches them beat each other. Jacob goes to the bank in the city with Jack and Zane. Zane leaves to spend the evening with his family, but the livestock agent's inside operative notices Zane leaving Jacob unattended. Zane's wife is taken into custody in the morning for breaking Montana's anti-miscegenation legislation, having mongrel kids with a white man in other terms. As Alice is taken away, Zane is beaten by the police in front of their kids. When Jack arrives back at the ranch, he discovers Elizabeth in the bathtub whining about stomach discomfort. She notices that the bathtub is bloody when she peers down. Although Elizabeth is stable, the doctor calls and sternly tells the Duttons that she's flushed the baby. Jack, who is concerned about her life's purpose, reassures her that it is possible to find fulfillment other than giving birth, just like his Aunt Kara. Jack and Elizabeth work through the shift in their circumstances together, which breaks their hearts. Fans had speculated that John Dutton III was going to be the father of the child Elizabeth was expecting. It reopens the chance that Spencer and Alex might carry on the family line, or that Jack and Elizabeth might still become pregnant in the future. Jacob tells Kara Dutton that he is losing feeling in his body as a potential side effect of his injuries when she finds him outside. Jacob and Donald are introduced to one another outside. Guns are pulled, but Kara manages to keep everyone cool. Donald warns the Duttons during a villainous monologue that tourism is coming to Montana and will have a significant impact on their family, a prophecy that comes out to be accurate in light of the events of Yellowstone Season 5. Donald tells Jacob that he has paid off his arrears because he was aware of them. The deed is cancelled and returned to Jacob if he doesn't pay him back by the end of the year. Spencer and Alex are getting ready to leave Italy and board the Majestic, which will make a stop in London before continuing on to America, a 3-week journey. Arthur, Alex's ex-fiance, is spotted aboard the same ship. Alex's motion sickness forces them up to the upper deck even though they had intended to remain in their room. Alex is informed by an old acquaintance that Arthur is a broken man. In a tense interchange of fake politeness, Alex tells Jennifer that she is content. Alex determines she and Spencer will eat in the Grand Hall together out of a renewed sense of defiance. When Arthur sees Alex and Spencer arrive, he grumbles to his father, the audacity to bring him here. Arthur dances with Jennifer while making an effort to maintain his decorum. Arthur tries to intimidate Alex in a polite manner, but Spencer growls a harsh and serious caution. Later, Arthur tries to challenge Spencer to a duel while slapping him with white gloves in a comedic act of aggression. Spencer quickly makes a comeback and kicks him in the midriff. After Arthur calls Alex a whore, Spencer almost leaves but turns around and accepts the fight on the top deck. Spencer has never handled a sword before, but Arthur decides they should use them. It's a very one-sided battle. Spencer continues shoving Arthur away with increasing force as he keeps coming. Later, when Spencer and Alex are alone, Arthur attempts to sneak up on them from behind, but Spencer grabs him by the throat and throws him overboard. Spencer is taken to the brig because none of the other visitors speak up in his favor. When Jennifer tries to respond, she is dismissed. The following day, Alex remains by herself in her room, feeling miserable. A fellow crew member shows up with Spencer's things. Jennifer is testifying in the captain's quarters to support Spencer's assertion that he acted in self-defense. The Countess of Sussex is another name for Spencer's wife, which he learns for the first time there. Spencer is informed by the ship's captain that he is departing without his fiancée. Spencer is being taken away in a dinghy, so Jennifer hurries to force Alex out of the room so she can escape with him. She loses her chance as the split-apart lovers are compelled to shout their love declarations from various vessels. Alex shouts that she will meet Spencer in Bozeman, Montana after spotting a note from Kara. Kara has updated her message to Spencer and is pleading with him to move quickly from the ranch. "Please move quickly, Spencer. Otherwise, nothing will be left to battle for." Kara looks at the potential loss of land for the Duttons, but instead of sending it, she crumples it and tosses it to the ground. We'll have to wait until Season 2 to find out if Spencer visits Montana and if Alex visits Spencer.